and I'm asking because, a book just came out called White Rural Rage.
Which is
the
crazy.
Threat to but it's also the truth, right?
Yeah.
And it says the threat to American democracy. The authors were on, I think this is MSNBC, and they talked about why white rural rage was a problem. And we have that clip. You want to play that, Farouk?
Rural voters, a threat to democracy.
They're the most racist, xenophobic, anti-immigrant, and anti-gay geodemographic group in the country.
Yes.
Second, they're the most conspiracist group.
Yes.
QAnon support and subscribers, election denialism, COVID denialism and scientific skepticism, Obama birtherism. Third, anti-democratic sentiments. They don't believe in an independent press, free speech. They're most likely to say the president should be able to act unilaterally without any checks from Congress or the courts or the bureaucracy.
Right. Yeah, they want Trump. They want Trump to be king.
Yes.
They literally want Trump to become president, to never relinquish the presidency. They're the most racist. They're the most, xenophobic. They're the most fascist. They're the most violent. That's another part that he talked about. They're the ones most willing to engage in violence, like we saw with January 6th. So does this white rural rage, naming it, and we seeing it, right? The fact that Nikki Haley has to get Secret Service just running against this man. Miracle. You were just in West Virginia.
Facts. So I'm glad you led with that, because I was just having a conversation in West Virginia about Appalachia and this perception that people have about voters and the violence that comes from rural rage. And a part of it is, yes, we do see this violence, this anger that is connected to guns and threats. But on the other part of it that we don't talk too much about is this idea of corporations working with government to destroy rural areas. We talk about the lack of internet capabilities in rural areas, the lack of clean water, lack of fresh food, the fact that corporations have really came in and taken over these towns and have really taken, and created almost monopolies on local resources. So they have a reason to be angry, right?
But they're not angry at the corporations, though.
I'm about to get to that.
Okay, bad.
They have a reason to be angry, but on top of that, the corporations have also bought the media, have also bought journalists to tell them, you're not angry at us, you're angry at these immigrants who have taken your jobs. You're not angry at us, you're angry at these politicians who are fighting for these black Democrats, people and queer people, and they're not paying attention to you. Meanwhile, they are buying the politicians who are giving them the right to frack, who are giving them these licensing deals behind people's backs, who are giving them, they're able just to write off donations so they can literally poison people's air, land, and water. And then you have these folks who are just being told that not only are they under attack from these outside groups, they are living and experiencing being under attack. And then you have us as black and queer people and immigrants be like, I don't want to go to rural Appalachia and talk to people about systems theory because I'm afraid for my safety. And so now we have this void of these voters who are angry, who are angry and armed, who are angry, armed, and abandoned, and don't have a connection to the broader global community because they've been cut off. And so it is an actual threat. But the problem, I think, is that we haven't focused on these corporations that have exploited this community and weaponized this community. And now it is, it's not like we're too far gone, but it is going to take a lot more work than we even imagined or could realize to reach these individuals and to build with these individuals. And it is an ever-growing problem that is going to keep expanding until, hopefully people are able to reach and engage, but there is an actual threat. And I do fear that if people feel that Trump isn't getting a fair shot, that actual violence, like another January 6th on a more direct and more violent level is going to take place.
But again, I think some of these, again, like you said, these corporations are able to just do this carte blanche, right? Because one of the things, can you play the rest of that clip? Because they make a point in that clip about when Trump was actually president. Can you continue to play that?
They don't believe in an independent press, free speech. They're most likely to say the president should be able to act unilaterally without any checks from Congress or the courts or the bureaucracy. They're also the most strongly white nationalist and white Christian nationalists. And fourth, they are most likely to excuse or justify violence. So Trump comes in and says, let's just hate on cities. Let's just hate on minorities. Let's hate on immigrants. And at least they can deliver on that. And so they're not even voting in their material interests anymore. He was just a conduit for their rage, their anger, their resentment. And that turned out to be what they wanted. And it wasn't really about the material conditions of their lives, because he didn't improve their lives, but he got more support in rural areas in 2020 than he had in 2016, despite the fact that none of their problems had gotten any better under him. All that he gave them was a way to essentially give a big middle finger to Democrats, to people who live in cities, and to the rest of the country.
They're pissed off.
They are pissed off, and they have some reason to be with both parties.
White rural rage.
So that's kind of fascinating to me, like you said, like, is that they're mad, but like Trump didn't improve their life. You know, Trump passed that huge tax break for the wealthiest people in the country. Like, he didn't improve their lives, and it didn't matter because he was their like racist white knight, right? He's their person that could talk bad about, he can go in front of the conservative black audience and bring up all of these black tropes and stereotypes like you talked about on the last episode, Farouk, and the black people are laughing, they're laughing. So he's like, but he's not even saying, I'm going to make your life better, I'm going to get you jobs. He's on the campaign trail actually touting stuff that Obama passed, right? I passed the VA bill. No, Obama actually passed that. You extended it, but he's like taking credit for these ideas. And so that's what's so fascinating about this, is like, he's really somebody that is like, they love him because he's racist and like benefiting from it. And that's it.
He really is. And I've said this multiple times on the show. Trump is a demagogue. Yes. He is just he's their symbol. He is their token. He's their beacon for all the rage, all the shortcomings that they feel that they've endured as white Americans, that they feel like there's this whitening or the browning of America. There's this white genocide that, like the guy just said, that Trump is just a conduit, like an outlet for all of this. And what is so dangerous is that he's empowering so many people, again, to paraphrase him, despite their best interests.
Right.
Trump's presence in the White House does not improve your life under any metrics.
Yes.
Right? Like, the needle does not move north for you at all. Like, you're still this constituency that oftentimes is the most undereducated, the most poverty-stricken, the ones who receive the most welfare support, the ones who actually benefit the most from affirmative action.
Right.
And Trump's presence actually increases the difficulty of your daily life.
Yes.
But they don't care about all that, because what they have is now the opportunity to outwardly and basically with free reign attack people who they view are other or less than them.